Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas. Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejados.
Because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
Hello, everyone. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Nathan.
Welcome to episode 39 of Adventures and Mousecapades.
This week, I have scientifically proven that there are still about 1,500 other things that are out there that can make you sick, that feel like COVID, that are not COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a horrific head cold. I know you can hear it in my voice. I have been coughing for days, like my ribs are bruised. I have gotten very little sleep. It's been amazing. If you hear some weird edits and cuts, it's because I have muted myself or chopped out a coughing fit on this podcast episode.
Yes.
But we care about you. We know our listener. We have
a couple.
Okay, listeners. I guess
couple,
technically it's
3,
still plural.
4, yeah.
We know you live and die with our Monday releases, right? I mean, it's the only thing that is keeping people going.
We had to get it done.
That's right.
I mean, we did. So let me backtrack a little bit here. Today, we are talking about our first part of our whirlwind of a vacation this August 2022.
August and September. Like it was.
No, just this little bit is our first part. It's our
fair enough.
3 or 4 days. This was like, we had like a month and a half or a month of vacation, basically.
Yeah.
Starting early August, we
Yep.
did vacation. We did Disney World. We did Cocoa Beach unexpectedly. We
Yep.
did cruise. We
Yep.
did Universal. I came back with the kids to get them into school. And then I happened to have a conference in Orlando.
Yep.
That was, I didn't plan it that way. That's just kind of how it happened.
I mean, well, let's be honest. We saw that conference was in Orlando and we said to ourselves,
Well, I wanted to go anyway. That it was in
Yes.
Orlando was an added bonus.
yes.
Yeah, so I went back for that, did learning stuff and spent a little more time in Disney and then came back. And that was last week.
Yeah. That was a week ago. We flew
Yeah.
home and then I was good last Monday. Had a little bit of a cough, but it didn't feel bad. And then Tuesday, it just,
Yeah, I think it's
Hit
kind
me.
of moved to a chest cold at this point. I don't think this is a head cold. I think this is a
No.
chest cold.
it's,
It's not sounded good.
I'm sorry. But, everybody can really enjoy my dulcet tones.
There you go.
I'll really pump up the bass and the EQ for this one. Everybody turn up your subwoofers. Let's do this.
Uh-huh. Have fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
This podcast here, we are talking about, I'm calling it 3 for DW. It's Nathan, myself, and Sterling at Disney World.
Yes.
This is the very first part of our trip. Kaitlyn happened to be away at it was a church camp, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah,
Her
and
very last
yeah.
church summer camp, because she is now a senior in high school.
Yeah.
And she wanted to make sure that she got to go
Yep.
to what used to be called Extreme Week.
Yeah.
at
Yeah, she
church,
really
but-
wanted to go. So
Yeah.
we're like, okay, we don't really want you to go, but we understand you want to go because it's the very last one.
Yeah.
So yeah, Nathan, Sterling, and I got to do a couple of days at Disney by ourselves, which was a
Now-
lot of fun.
Let me backtrack.
Okay,
We wanted
okay.
her to go,
Well, yeah, but yeah.
but I mean, given all sorts of global events and the fact that like it really overlapped and kind of impinged on our vacation plans, like it was
Mhm.
just, it was tough, but
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
all survived.
Yes.
Anyhow, we digress.
We digress. Yeah. So we left on, I think it was August 10th
Yeah.
was when we got on a plane.
Yep.
And one of the things we did this trip that we have not done before is we put air tags in our luggage.
Yes. So there are Apple AirTags. We're an Apple ecosystem household in terms of phones and iPads and things like that.
Yeah.
And I've seen a bunch of friends talking about putting air tags in their luggage, and holy cow, like the peace of mind of knowing where your stuff is and that it actually made it on the plane and all the rest of that stuff was, for me, really, really helpful.
I'm going to be honest here. I never worried about my luggage. Like this wasn't ever, this has never been an issue with me. I'm like, okay, if it makes it, it makes it. Actually, no, I never even thought about it. Like I understand that luggage can be lost and it has been lost for people in the past, but this has never been a worry of mine. But I am glad that we got something to help with your peace of mind.
Well, I wasn't losing any sleep over it, but just the use case of them going like, we don't know where your bag is. And I can go, well, it's in Phoenix and we're in Orlando.
Yeah.
Like
True.
would be really, really helpful.
Yeah. So these little things are about like the size of a quarter.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And when you move them, they jingle. They make some sort of like electronic jingly noise, which is kind of weird.
I didn't notice that. Maybe.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah. When I unpacked everything and took them out, so we don't lose them, they made a noise. Anyway, we put those in our bags so we could see where they were.
Indeed.
And we got on the flight. It was a morning flight.
It was on Alaska, and it was also our first time on a Boeing 737 MAX. Mm-hmm. This is the new version. This was a MAX 9. It was really cool. Like noticeably a lot quieter than the traditional 737 that we've been on. Flying in Alaska. In fact, we had flying home last week. We were on a 737-900, which is an NG. Okay, I'm a nerd. It's the previous generation, not the original, but the previous generation. And I noticed like, oh yeah, this is a lot louder than the MAX was. The MAX was really, really quiet. Quite impressive what they were able to do with the engines and everything else. So
I don't pay attention. I mean, I hear the airplane noise. I didn't notice the difference. Airplanes are always super loud to me. I just have my headphones in. I listen to music and read my books, and it is what it is.
The MAX is quieter, but the engines take longer to start.
Oh, got it. Okay. I'll take your word for it. But you got a nice little time lapse of us taking off, which is always kind of cool.
I did. I'm an av geek, and I did a little time lapse of us taking off and breaking through the cloud deck. It was overcast as we were taking off out of Seattle. I'm sure nobody's shocked at that. But it was really cool because I'd pull up Flight Radar 24 on my phone and go like, okay, we're number 3 in line for takeoff. And then like, oh, this is starting rolling. And we saw like an A330 from Hawaiian take off, and a little Embraer from Delta Connections take off. And
I think
cool.
You were texting, I don't know, you were texting either our Orlando crew or your parents, like what number we were in line. And I think you do that for every flight though.
Hey,
so it may not have. It's okay.
Cool.
The next picture I have is of the MCO, the Orlando airport carpet, because that's when you know you've arrived.
Yes.
The nasty looking carpet.
Oh God, it's iconic, but also,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
And we got on Amir's bus.
Yes.
Which was an extra cost involved because Disney does not have transportation to the resorts anymore as
the
a
Magical
part of packages.
Express is dead.
It's the Tragic Express now.
Long live Mears Connect.
Yes. I mean, Mears Connect is still, Mears Connect is still there. We paid a fee to have them bring us to the resort, and that was in Terminal B. We made our way there and got right on the bus.
Yeah, it was basically a walk-on to get onto the bus. So
it took a while for the bus to actually leave, but we got on right away.
Yep. So at least we weren't standing around in line and stuff like that. And they took over the Magical Express area. Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, the Magical Express was outsourced to Mears in the first place.
Yeah, it was. So, it was Mears. And there are other options. I mean, you could do a taxi, you can do an Uber, Lyft.
There's another
There's the
bus option
Sunshine
too.
Flyer
Yep,
now
that
is
one.
another bus option. There's Mears. However you want to do it, you can get to wherever you want to go.
Yeah.
We set up Mears ahead of time and just went with that.
Yep.
We also noted that gas was at that time
It's like $1.25 cheaper than it
Yeah.
was in Seattle.
$1.25 cheaper in Seattle.
Oh,
The sigh.
yeah. Speaking of size, we have a couple pictures of us passing under the Welcome to Disney World arch.
Yeah.
And
So you were on
Alicia-
the other side of the bus.
Yeah,
You were
we
on the
were-
left side and I was on the right side. So we've
Yeah.
got pictures of like left side of the road, right side of the road
Yeah.
of us going under the Welcome to Disney World sign.
And then Alicia and I looked at each other and we had very, very stressful week or two before vacation at work. Like just everything was going in 1,000 miles an hour in 1,000 different directions.
Yeah.
And we didn't even get a chance to start packing until like 9:00 the night before we left.
Laundry had been done.
Laundry had been done, but
Laundry
like
had
nothing
been
was in
done.
a
We just
bag.
hadn't
Nothing.
packed anything
It
yet.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
It's-
on us, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like we were being lazy. Like
No.
we
There's
had
a lot.
no
Yeah,
time.
there's a lot going on.
And
Anyway.
we passed underneath the sign, and I think both of us looked at each other, and we both felt like our blood pressure dropped by like 50 points. Like
There was like some sort of visceral reaction
Yeah.
of just outright relief. And
Yes.
I thought it was absolutely hilarious. Like it was an unconscious, subconscious, whatever you want to call it, reaction. Like, oh my gosh, I just instantly relaxed and I
Uh-huh.
didn't even know I was that tense.
Yep.
Which, yeah, it was kind of funny. It's like, oh, we're home.
I had a double shot of that. One was going underneath that sign, and the other one was when the bus pulled into the Grand Floridian driveway and
Yep.
through the gate.
Yep.
And
Yeah, this time we
Yeah.
stayed at the villas at Grand Floridian Resort.
Yeah,
We
this
have
is our
never stayed there before.
yeah. And I mean, we've been to the Grand Floridian, we've been there for breakfasts and things like
Mhm.
that. But yeah, this is our first time staying at that property, and
Yeah.
holy cow.
Yeah, and we weren't exactly sure what to do either. I mean,
Yeah.
the DVC resort is kind of it has its own building and its
Yes.
own lobby, but we've never been there before. We didn't know where to go. So we just went into the main Grand Floridian lobby,
Right.
and there's a cast member there named Candido, and we said it was our first time there. We've never been there before. We're not exactly sure where to go. And he's like, "Oh, I got you. Don't worry."
Yeah.
And he loaded all of us into an extended golf cart, put all of our luggage in there, and took us on like a 10-minute tour of the
Yeah.
resort.
It was so cool.
It was really cool. And he was talking, telling us all about the place and where everything was. It was phenomenal. It
He
really
was
nice.
amazing.
Yeah.
He got a cast compliment in the app.
Yes, he did. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And it was really cool to kind of get the layout. As Alicia noted, like the DVC building is a separate building. It's almost closer to the Polynesian than it is to the Grand Floridian building. Like it's over right next to the wedding pavilion.
Yeah.
It is a bit of a walk.
It's
not horrible,
too
but
bad. Yeah,
you
it's-
factor in the heat and humidity, and it's
Yeah. It does have a little covered walkway to it though.
yes
As well.
Yes.
The lobby of the DVC tower building for Grand Floridian is very cute. It is, I think Grand Floridian itself is kind of a overall Mary Poppins theme.
Yeah.
And there is a beautiful bronze statue fountain in the lobby of the DVC building. It's just so cute. It's all the penguins having tea.
Yep, from Mary Poppins, and they're
Yeah.
pouring. Yeah, it's very
It's
cute.
really cute.
Yeah.
And there was a chocolate sculpture, like a large chocolate sculpture of an eagle. I don't know if I have a picture of that, but yeah, there was an eagle there and it was just really neat. We had already checked in via the app, so we just went straight to the room. And we had a 2-bedroom for this go round. went in, got pictures. I know we posted pictures of that
Yeah.
a long time ago. We'll put some more up too. This is just a gorgeous resort. It's so
Absolutely
pretty.
stunning. This is very much, it's kind of our vibe. Like it's a little bit more classy, a little bit more upscale, especially with the refresh. It's kind of the more modern touches and everything.
Yeah.
Really, really enjoyed it. We were super comfortable here.
I liked the colors. So I was trying to figure out if I liked the Grand Floridian or the Riviera more. I liked the colors involved in the Grand Floridian more.
Yeah,
Um,
agreed.
I like the location of the Riviera more though.
Yeah.
Although you can't beat being on the monorail line.
No,
It's
no,
right there.
no. But I mean, it's 2 parks versus 1.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, arguably you can get to Epcot through the monorail.
Yep.
So I guess it's 2 and 2. But
Yeah.
I would say the Riviera to me is a little bit more modern feeling
Yes.
resort.
Definitely.
Of course, because the Grand Floridian is, Victorian style
Mhm.
in that era. I think lean a little bit towards the Riviera in terms of style, but I love both of them.
Yeah.
I mean, we're really splitting hairs and
We will probably stay at both of them again.
oh, absolutely.
Just because they're awesome. Yeah.
Absolutely. Especially now that we're closing in on like having stayed at most of the DVC resorts.
We're getting close.
Yeah. Now we can start going back and
Repeating.
repeating. So we got to the room. We had one of the few reservations that we had made beforehand was dinner for that evening because we wanted to make sure that we could sort something out and not have to go too far. We did not have park tickets for that first day. We didn't get in until like 6:00 at night, I think.
Yeah.
And so we had dinner at Citrico's.
Which is in the main building of the Grand Floridian.
Exactly. And that was a great meal. Really, really enjoyed this meal.
Yes.
And it turns out we got sat kind of in the furthest room, the furthest section of Citrico's from the entrance. And technically, Citrico's is not a fireworks viewing location. Like it doesn't have a quote unquote fireworks view. Now, in reality, that furthest room, you can see the Magic Kingdom fireworks. They don't quite well.
Yeah.
They don't pop in or pipe in the music, but you can sure see the fireworks. And we got really kind of treated to the fireworks show framed in one of the windows. It was quite fantastic.
You cannot see the castle. You can't see any structures or anything, but you can see the fireworks. It's very nice.
Yeah.
And Citrico's has very recently gone through a renovation where they have redone the furniture and upholstery and all carpets and all that good stuff in there.
Yes.
Kind of the same theme that they've done throughout with the mix of the colors, the kind of bright pastel-y colors.
Mhm.
I don't know how to put. Those are kind of opposites there, but yeah.
No, but I mean it's Mary Poppins-esque. It's very classy. It's just super well done. Some really nice touches in terms of the furniture and the upholstery and some of the design elements. They have the carpet bag and the or I'm thinking of the wrong restaurant.
No,
Strike that.
you've got it. In Citrico's, there's a room there's a coat rack basically, and you can see Mary Poppins' hat and her carpet bag and her parrot umbrella.
Yes.
Just kind of hanging out there because she's chilling somewhere.
Yeah. So it was really well done. And the meal was phenomenal.
Yep.
Yeah.
We started with drinks. Nathan had an 1806 old fashioned.
Shocker.
And I had a passion margarita, which was a little strong on the flavor for me. I don't know that I finished it. How was your old fashioned, Nathan?
It was really good. It was more, it was it was more orangey than most old fashions, but it was still really good. I enjoyed it.
There was a large chunk of orange peel that was clothespined to the side of the glass, which was
the presentation was really fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really good. I enjoyed it. I had old fashions in a lot of places
Yes, you did.
over the
I mean,
5+ weeks that I was in Orlando,
you got to
and
test them all out, right?
exactly, and frankly, I enjoyed all but one of them. And so yeah, and that one
We'll talk about later.
we'll talk about later.
This was a very good meal. I remember enjoying it thoroughly.
Yeah,
We each actually started out with a salad.
I know. Shocker, Mom, I had a salad.
I had a strawberry salad, and this thing was absolutely gorgeous. It had chamomile infused goat cheese, frisee lettuce, bacon vinaigrette, and spiced sunflower seeds. I would eat this again in a heartbeat. Just the mix of flavors was fresh and different and amazing.
I did not have the
No,
strawberry
no,
salad.
you didn't. You do not like
No.
strawberries at all.
No.
You had a Citrico's house salad.
Yeah, and it had a nice vinaigrette on it.
Mhm.
It was really enjoyable, nice and light and refreshing. And
Yeah.
yeah, see, I can be sophisticated and have a salad too.
Let's see. Sterling had a chicken noodle soup, which he did not like at all.
No, it wasn't very noodly.
No,
I mean,
it
frankly,
looked,
I think he's thinking of like, I want the stuff out of a can.
yeah,
And you're not going to get that here.
it kind of looked like a minestrone. I know it wasn't, but just the way
No.
it looked. We both had steak for dinner.
Yes.
I had the oak grilled filet mignon, and Nathan had the oak grilled prime New York.
Oh,
Both of these were delicious.
so
And
amazing.
they both came with potato puree, broccolini, cipollini, I have no idea what that is,
Uh,
and bordelaise sauce.
oh, yeah. It was so good.
It was very good. Yeah, I think one of these days we need to go through and redo our steak tour.
Yes.
And I mean, that's going to be a heavy week, but whew,
Yeah,
we'll
exactly.
figure it out.
Yeah, shut up, stomach. You're
Yes.
having another steak.
This was very good. I quite enjoyed it. We've had some okay steaks at Disney before. This was phenomenal. And the mashed potatoes. Wow.
Yeah. I'm just gonna digress since I keep popping it. The OK steak. It was Le Cellier
Yeah.
in Epcot at
We
Canada, and
had
everybody's like,
OK.
"Oh, it's a steak. It's a great steak." The Le Cellier's potato soup, freaking phenomenal. Their steaks that we've tried multiple times, not so much.
Yeah. We've just not had good runs there, I guess.
No.
Back to this
Sorry.
dinner here.
Yes.
Sterling had his entree was a cheese pizza. He also had mashed potatoes on the side and
Yeah.
loved these so much. I think all of us did. Like we could just
Yeah.
have a meal of the mashed potatoes. It
They were
was so
really
good.
phenomenal.
Yep.
And we had
Des-
dessert because,
Yes.
you know, we needed dessert.
I mean,
It
we
had
had
been a
to,
long
yeah.
day. Yeah, duh.
So Nathan, you had an apple rose, which
Yes,
looked like an apple rose.
as advertised. It was really, really well done.
Its description is served warm with seasonal apples, marzipan, raspberry jam, and frozen coconut milk. You forgo the raspberry jam. You did not have raspberry jam.
That is correct. Yeah, and the frozen coconut milk was basically ice cream.
Yeah.
Like a coconutty ice cream. It wasn't super coconutty, but the apple tart, the rose, oh,
I don't remember if I tried any of this. I don't think you would let me try any of this.
yeah, back off.
Just have to go again.
Oh,
I
well.
had the chocolate torte, which the presentation for this was beautiful.
Stunning.
We'll put a picture of it up. It had the plate itself had a chocolate or cocoa dusted pattern on it of
Mhm.
leaves and vines, which is I think the Citricose pattern itself. And then the chocolate torte on top of it. I don't know how to explain this thing. I can read what it says on the description, but I don't know. It says chocolate financier, which I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that is.
That's literally what it says. I made sure. I was like, I don't understand how that word matches with food.
It's just fancy chocolate. It's
I
like
guess.
it's like shaved chocolate.
It looks like pencil
leaf.
shavings,
Yeah.
but just made out of chocolate.
Yeah.
Dark chocolate ganache, morello cherries, vanilla mascarpone, and cream. This was pretty good on the inside. The chocolate shavings on the top were not as enjoyable. It was a lot of hard chocolate, basically. It
Huh.
it was very thick and not a great taste either.
Huh.
I don't know. But the rest of it, like the main part of it, was really good. It had a pretty medallion on the front of the 50th Castle logo, kind of dusted gold, and then it had a little tiny bit of the vanilla mascarpone cream on the side too.
Huh.
That was pretty good, except for the top part of it. The interior of it was good. And Sterling had an ice cream sundae. It was a scoop of chocolate ice cream with chocolate Mickey wafer ears.
Yeah. It was really cute.
It was cute. It's good.
Yeah.
It was. We will definitely eat there again. It was
Oh,
a
absolutely.
very enjoyable
It
dinner.
was a great meal.
Yep.
It's a
And the
great meal.
hallway down there on the way to Citrico's, you also pass Victoria and Albert's.
Yes. Another
Which-
place that we have to go.
Yeah, we haven't gone there. We may try and go there for our next trip in March. It is our anniversary trip.
Yes.
And this is a very fancy restaurant. So we will try and
Yes.
go there.
We will see what we can do. It is expensive.
Yes.
And it is more expensive now after it is reopened
Yeah.
after the pandemic than it was before.
Yep. They
Like
redid
before,
everything.
it was already like stupid expensive.
Yep.
Now it's ridiculously stupid expensive.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll look into options because there's, I think, 3 different pricing tier options,
Yeah.
depending on what kind of meal you want to do. We've done really expensive meals before. We did really expensive meals on this past trip,
Indeed.
on the cruise itself.
Yep.
It's always a good experience, though.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, try and get it at least once. It doesn't mean it has to be a repeat thing, but
Yeah, that's true.
we'll
Very
see.
true.
We will see how it goes. That was that evening. We
Yeah.
were tired. We went back to the room, unpacked ish, and
Ish.
and went to sleep. Sterling had his choice of beds.
That's right. Because Kaitlyn wasn't there
Yeah,
yet.
Kaitlyn wasn't there yet.
He got to choose first. Yep. And then we got up the next morning and we headed off to Hollywood Studios.
Yep.
And you had a little bit of a snafu with ticketing.
I'm not sure exactly what happened. Before the trip, when you go to Disney and do a Disney resort, you have the option to choose Magic Bands. And Magic Band Plus had just been announced. And they said, hey, starting July 28th, the Magic Band Plus is going to be available for order. So on July 28th, right at midnight, so it was like July 27th, 9 p.m. here for us, I ordered the Magic Band Plus for myself, Nathan, and Sterling, because I wanted to try this out for our trip. They never came.
No.
I was on the phone multiple times with Disney just trying to figure out what we can do because we wouldn't have these magic bands for our trip. And they kept saying, well, we can't do anything until they ship. Like,
Doesn't
we
make any
can't change
sense.
your order at all until they ship. Which I
Don't
thought
understand that.
yeah, I thought that was kind of odd. The night that we got in, I talked with the guest services, the cast members there, and asked what we could do. They were extremely helpful.
Yes.
I mean, this had been going on for everybody. We were not the only people having
No,
this issue.
No,
Like,
this was a problem.
This was worldwide, I guess.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Nobody was getting their Magic Band Pluses that had ordered them ahead of time.
Right.
They were in the stores. They just weren't getting shipped out.
Yeah, they had some snafu.
So the lady was really nice. I talked with her and she's like, here's a credit for the cost of the Magic Bands. You can order new ones.
Yeah, they basically put the credit for, was it 45 times 3?
Yeah.
Onto our room account. And then we went and were able to go buy Magic Bands.
Yep. I went and bought one that evening and
Yeah.
was playing with it, getting it ready while we were at dinner. But Nathan and Sterling did not have one yet for our second day, which was when we were at Hollywood Studios.
Basically, they only had, we wanted specific Magic
Yeah.
Band Plus models, and they didn't have it at Grand Floridian. Sorry, what coast are we on? And yeah, so you got yours,
I
but
got
we
mine.
held off until we
Yeah.
were going to get them in the park.
And I got a different one than I had originally ordered because they had an
Mm.
Orange Bird one. And I was like, oh, I like Orange Bird. I'll do
Yeah.
Orange Bird.
Yeah.
s-
I wanted they have the gray classic Mickey one
Yeah.
that I really, really had my heart set on. And so I waited to get that one. And yeah, so just so you're tracking with us at home, we had ordered them and paid for them. They were stuck in processing, pre-shipping. And then we got a credit to basically go buy free, 3 Magic Band Pluses in the park.
Yes.
So that leaves us paying for 1 and getting 2. I think later that day, or it was the next day.
It was the next day. We got a text or an email from Disney basically saying, we're so sorry about the delay. Your Magic Bands are on the way to you.
Yes.
And here's a $50 gift certificate as a sorry.
Yes.
Now, the ones that were shipped to us have our names on the back.
Yes, they do.
They're a little personalized.
Yeah, but I mean, let's put it this way. It was unfortunate that they had that issue and it was frustrating. And the fact that they couldn't touch an order until it shipped, just like, wouldn't you want to change an order before it ships?
Yeah.
But anyhow, they totally top to bottom did right by their guests.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't something like we went up and demanding. We were just like, hey, what do we do? How do we handle this? Disney absolutely did right by their guests through all this thing. It's unfortunate that it happened, but que sera. As I've said before, and I'll continue to say, Disney has lovely technology aspirations. And sometimes their logistics and implementation leave a little bit to be desired.
Yep.
I think this is another one of those cases.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, we should move on to day 2.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I took a little sidetrack there.
It's okay.
Go over
it was
the Magic
well
Band
worth
stuff.
it.
Yep.
So
on day 2,
yes,
we went to Hollywood Studios, and
Yes.
I scanned in with my Magic Band, and it worked fine.
yes, I scanned in with an old Magic Band because
You had an
I
old
brought
Magic Band.
one of them that I've had for a long time
Yes.
with.
And I tried to scan in for Sterling, and it grabbed a different ticket of mine for some reason. I'm not sure. I don't know what happened. The cast member doesn't know what happened.
Yeah.
We don't know.
The-
Basically,
the-
there was some sort of snafu.
The immediate cast member was making stuff up, it seemed of saying oh, it did this and this and this. And their supervisor was standing behind him going it's not how, whatever. It was kind of funny.
Yeah. Sterling was issued a card ticket
Yes.
in order to make sure that he could get in. So
Yeah.
he got
It
that.
all worked out.
Yeah, it worked out. And Nathan wanted to go to Batu to get a Ronto roaster for breakfast.
Yes, I needed a breakfast Ronto wrap.
Yes.
That was mandatory.
Sterling does not like Ronto roasters.
Whatever.
So he and I
I love him, but whatever.
did a little detour and went over to Toy Story Land
Yes.
because we wanted to try breakfast tots at Woody's Lunchbox. And on the way there, we got to see Chip and Dale having a picnic, which was really cute. They had picnic blankets. Dale was wearing the picnic blanket like a bonnet.
Sure, as you do.
And they had a basket and humongous acorns, really big acorns in there. So we got some cute pictures with them. And that was over by a couple of the 50th anniversary interactive statues.
Mhm.
So I waved at them and got those.
Yeah.
And then we went over to Woody's Lunchbox for breakfast tots, and those were so delicious. Scrambled eggs and tater tots and something else in there too. I don't remember what
Is
it
there
is.
some bacon crumble in there or something?
Probably. It was good. I will do that again.
I went over to Batu and went off world for a Ronto wrap.
Yep.
Which is it's basically like a long sausage wrapped in scrambled egg and then a pita around that and some cheese on top, and it's
good.
so freaking good.
It's very good.
It's
I think
amazing.
Nathan, I think that Sterling just doesn't like the sausage in there. That's the only thing I could think of. Oh, and it has a bit of a sauce on it too.
Yeah, I take the sauce off. I opt out
got
of the
it.
sauce.
While you were off world, I was getting invaded by a small lizard.
Yeah, you were.
Um,
There's lizards everywhere in Florida.
yes, there are lizards everywhere. We were eating breakfast and I felt a tickle on my arm, and I looked down and there's a lizard on my arm, like a teeny, tiny lizard. And so Sterling and I just had fun with Larry the lizard for a while.
Yeah.
He's jumping all over us and
Yeah. And at that point, I had finished my Ronto rap and was making my way over towards them. And then I was texting Alicia and saying, "Hey, where are you?" And she said, "Hey, I'm hanging out over here. We're in the Woody's lunchbox in the seating area. We've got this lizard." And then I get this text, "Get over here now. He's in my hair and I can't find him."
Yes. And Sterling couldn't find him either. He was still in my hair, but nobody could find him. And then we thought he was gone. And then Nathan left to go get magic bands. And I don't know, he showed up again. And Sterling's like, "Oh, he's right there. He's right there." So, yeah. We yeeted him into the bushes. So he was somewhere else. And
You're popular with the lizards, I guess.
I guess so. We met back in Batu to get the magic bands, and I got a blue milk.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to go to the front of the park to get the magic bands, but then we met back up in Batu. And so Magic Band Plus is just like a regular Magic Band plus some lights. And it has some interactive stuff. It'll Bluetooth pair with your phone.
Mhm.
And there seems to be some interactive things you can do with some of the rides in Galaxy's Edge. There's this whole bounty hunter storyline thing that you can do. And the 50th anniversary golden statues, there's 50 characters on 37 statues or something like that. I don't know. They're all throughout all 4 parks. And you can go up and wave at them and they'll interact. And if you're using the Play Disney app, you can actually kind of collect all those and get achievements as you tick all those boxes off for waving at all the statues. It's really hilarious. There's people coming up with their Magic Band Pluses, and they're doing these wild, gigantic arm gestures.
Like head to toe.
Head to toe, top to bottom, side to side, to get the thing to register, and it won't register, and it won't register. And they get more and more frustrated and make these bigger and bigger grandiose gestures. And then you just walk up and do this faint little, like, hi, like
Little tiny wave.
little tiny wave, and it goes right off.
Yep.
So you don't have to do a huge gesture.
No, it needs to be a small one. It will not read the larger gestures. It has to be just a small little wave.
Yes. It's so funny.
Yes. So while we were in Batu, we had noticed that Rock and Roller Coaster was down and had been down for a while. And we looked at our touring plans app as well, and it said that it would probably be reopening very soon. So we headed over that way as a, just in case. It might be open by the time we're there. It might not be. It had just opened when we walked over there. We walked right onto Rock and Roller Coaster.
Indeed.
Like right onto it.
We walked through the pre-show. I think we stood at the loading gate for like a train and a half to load, and then we were on.
It was pretty close.
It was amazing.
Yeah. So we got on it. That's one of Sterling's favorites.
I love that one too.
Yeah. It's too short. I wish it was longer, but
yeah.
it is a fun roller coaster.
Yep.
We did that, and then we went next door to Lightning McQueen show, which is it's cute. It's kind of neat to see the animatronics.
Yeah.
And when we got out of that, Rock and Roller Coaster was back down.
Yeah. Timing.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we went back towards the front of the park. We picked up some more of the 50th statues, which are cool, I will say.
We had updated Sterling's Magic Band so he could get the statues, and he wanted to get a couple of those.
Yeah.
And of course, we were in Hollywood Studios, so we had to do the Frozen show.
Yes.
It's so funny.
I love this. What is it? Like it's a Frozen sing-along or something like that?
Yeah. I'll have to
the
figure
name
out
of
what
it.
the actual title is, but
it's not worth doing just ask for the Frozen show or look up for the Frozen show.
I mean, you have the Arendelle historians telling the story, and then you get to sing the songs, and just their humor and the way they tell this it is literally laugh out loud funny.
Yes. And they evolved the script over time. So it's not I mean, there's a bunch of ad lib, but there's also like a base script that they're doing. And it has definitely evolved over time because they had this riff on like when the parents die, spoiler alert. And the guy was just like, "Oh, so it's like Bambi." oh, so it's like this and this and this and this and this. And he went through
I know all of them.
like 8 to 10 different Disney movies
Yeah.
where like one of the parents or both of the parents are dead. Yeah, it was hilarious.
Funny. Yep.
Yeah. There's a lot of, I'm not going to say adult humor, but there is a lot of humor for the adults in the room.
Yes. Yeah. I think when we were in there, we had a reservation for or a mobile order time for something. Because I have a note here that I changed the food order time. But you and I went to different places for food.
Yeah, I think because I needed to go back to Woody's Lunchbox for lunch.
Oh.
Because I needed a grilled cheese.
That's right.
And
And Sterling didn't want to do that because he had just done.
right. Which is fine. It's fair. It's kind of the nice thing about having multiple adults in the party, and you just split up.
Oh, that's
And
right. Okay, so yeah.
We had both done. I think you guys did a lunch at Backlot
Express.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did Backlot Express.
Yep.
So I was just updating the
Yep.
time when we were going to be there.
Well, what had happened is we went and did the Frozen show, and then the way that day the timing worked, Frozen let out, and it was like 10 minutes or so, and then Indiana Jones started. And so we walked from Frozen and walked right in and sat down to Indiana Jones, and then that started, which is really cool.
Yes.
We tried to do that last week
It
when
did
we
not
were
work
there,
out.
and it
No.
didn't work out because the show times didn't line up that same way. But went.
No. But you went over to Woody's Lunchbox to get your grilled cheese, and Sterling and I went to Backlot Express for lunch. And I had some sort of teriyaki bowl, which looks really good, but it did not taste like teriyaki.
Huh. That's weird.
I don't know how to say what it was.
I had a grilled cheese and tater tots.
What?
And it tasted like grilled cheese and tater tots.
Grilled
And
cheese?
it was amazing.
I'm surprised.
I-
That grilled cheese is really good.
It's
really
yeah,
good.
It's fantastic. Now, it is impossible, next to impossible, to get a table in that seating area at Woody's Lunchbox. It's really kind of a fustercluck. And I really wish that they would do something about getting more seating in that area and having more shade over there in that area.
There's no shade
up-
in Toy
No.
Story Land anyway.
No. I wound up getting a standing table after a little bit. I really just kind of lucked out. Alicia, did you have any better luck kind of with your breakfast order finding a table? Was it still just as crazy?
It was just as crazy, and we were at a standing table.
Okay, so same deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know they're building a barbecue restaurant
Mhm.
because that's what Disney needs is more barbecue. But and that's supposed to be indoor seating.
Mhm.
Maybe that'll alleviate some pressure on Woody's Lunchbox. But
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, they need to have more seating. They need to have more shade in Andy's backyard. It's ridiculous.
It is.
Yeah.
We had our lunches.
Yep.
And then we went to Charlie Carr Cafe to get some munchies because they have
Yes.
a carrot cake sandwich. Is that what that is?
Technically, it's a cookie. It
Cookie?
is a
Oh, sorry.
Carrot
Carrot
cake
cake
cookie.
cookie.
That
That
is
we wanted to
basically
try.
a sandwich. Like
Yeah.
it's big. Like it's the size of my fist. Oh God, that was so good.
It looked good. And I had
That was amazing.
it's like a brownie cookie. I don't know what this is. It's a chocolate chip cookie,
But it's Mickey head.
but it's a Mickey head, but it's like thick.
Yeah, it's just a big cookie. It's a chunky cookie.
It was good. And we
Yeah.
got some cake pops for Sterling.
Yeah, and I think did we get extras? Like we bought more because
We got 2 of each.
we wanted to have some stuff back in the room.
Yep.
And stuff.
Yeah.
And then it was. Go ahead.
I was going to say we decided to head out
Yeah.
for the afternoon thunderstorms.
Exactly. Yeah. It is mid-August. It was, afternoon thunderstorms pretty much every day that we were there.
Yeah.
And every day that I was there. I was in Florida for 5 weeks. There was maybe 2 days it didn't rain in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, it was typical Florida. We did catch the Incredibles cavalcade on our way out on the way out of the park, and then we just kind of chilled out in the room for the afternoon through the storm and had a
Watch
good
the
old
thunderstorm
time.
come in. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then you stuck around in the hotel room for a while,
I
and
did. I think I was tired that night. I just wanted to rest.
probably.
Yeah. And then you and Sterling, though, went back over to you went back to Hollywood Studios that day.
Yes, we went back to Hollywood Studios because we wanted to do the Bounty Hunter game that you could do with the Magic Band Plus at Batu. So, Sterling, what did you think of the Bounty Hunter game?
I loved it. It was great, and I really want to do that again.
I think we went through maybe,
Like
do we do 3 or
7?
4?
I think it was like 7 or 8.
Oh, really?
Actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess we did more than I thought. The way this works is there's a station where you scan your magic band, and it will basically pop up with your bounty, your person that you have to find. And all these different doors in Batu are marked as bounty hunter doors. They have like a little symbol above them, but you have to find out which one you're supposed to go to. And in order to do this, your magic band will flash different colors. There are 3 different colors it can do. What are the colors, Sterling?
Purple is if you are very close and have gotten it. Green is if you're getting closer and it buzzes. And the more buzz you get on it, the better it is.
Yeah,
If it's
the closer
just
you are.
if it's a long buzz and it's red, you're getting farther and farther.
Yeah. And you don't realize how big Batu is until you're doing this game. And Sterling and I were both doing it, and we had different bounties. So he would have to go to one door, and then I would have to go to a different door. And they're all over the place. I don't know how many different ones that they have, but if you're ever walking around Galaxy's Edge, any random door that's there could be one of these bounty doors, and it changes, I think, depending on what bounty you're catching. It changes what door you're at. Like, I think Sterling and I had the same guy, not at the same time, but mine was at a different door than his was at. Is that right, Sterling?
Yeah. Like I had hers, and it was the complete opposite, like side of the two.
Yeah, all over the place. And you can only do one at a time. So once you find what door your bounty is at, what did you have to do?
You had to get your phone out or iPad or whatever you brung.
Your Star Wars
Well,
data pad.
Yeah. And you had to scan the door, and then once you fully scan the door, the person would pop up in heat vision like stuff. He would look like
The heat
they would.
signature. Yeah. And then you would use so you can't just use your Magic Band Plus. You also have to have a phone logged into the Play Disney app. So, I mean, that's a battery drain, but it's kind of fun because you find your bounty, you scan it with your Play Disney app, you get the heat signature, you find the person. Then you go back to where you got the initial bounty from. And there's a separate door over there where you scan your band, and somebody basically comes up through a little window and says, "Hey, good job. You found the person. You found the creature. Here's your credits."
It's more like a door slot. Like
Yeah. I don't know what to call this. Like at a speakeasy, the little eye window that slides and they're like, "Tell us the password." Like that type of thing. So you do this for every bounty, and you get credits after every one you do. And apparently, I think after like 20 bounties, you can join a guild. And we did, you said 7. I don't remember doing that many, but so we weren't even close. We got tired after just that many. And but it was a lot of fun. I would not mind spending all my time just doing this.
Yes.
I enjoyed it. I like collecting like that, and yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Maybe we could do that again if they're like there, like when it's not when it's not the 50
Oh yeah.
time.
Next time we'll be down there is next December.
Ah,
So December 2023.
and
We may be there for a day or two.
we have to try and complete.
You want to
them.
do more? Complete them. We'll have to find out how many there is. There may be something like 100. We can't complete 100. We'll add a couple more to our bounties. So after we did the bounty game, Sterling and I went to do alien swirling saucers over in Toy Story Land because yes, we love that ride. It's fun. It just throws you around. It's a lot of
I
fun.
tried to smush her.
You tried to smush me, but I smushed you instead. And after that, you wanted a burger.
Yes, I did.
So we went over to Rosie's All American, which is kind of over by Tower of Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster. We had a burger there and we got to see the Hollywood Hotel Tower of Terror light up. We saw it light up like the beacon. And that was really cool.
Yeah. I don't believe I've like ever seen it ever before. And like there were like trees in the way though, but like I could like barely see it.
Yeah, we kind of walked over, or I did, because I wanted to see it. The colors are bright and vibrant, and they have a projection on over the top of it, make it look like there's people up in the ballroom dancing, which is kind of cool. Yeah, so we saw it. You haven't seen it before because we haven't been here before when they were doing it. It wasn't doing it last year when we were there.
Oh, yeah.
So that was our day at Hollywood Studios. We got back to the hotel and Sterling went swimming, or both of us did. I think we went to the pool.
Yeah, that was really fun. I love all the slides.
Yeah.
And that's where I was taught if you put your back on the slide and push your heels down, you go as fast.
Yes, I gave you a little tidbit.
I remember when I first did that, I was like screaming and just like, fast. Yeah.
Thank you for coming down to talk about the Bounty Hunter game at Batu.
Mhm.
Say goodbye.
Goodbye. Or goodbye, listeners.
So while they were over at Hollywood Studios and watching the tower all light up, I was actually at the room enjoying the electrical float parade going by. It was really cool to see from our balcony facing the lake. I will say though that it stops and does a parked show facing the Grand Floridian, like the main building and over by the boat dock. And so I could hear pretty much, like you could see it kind of from a very oblique angle and you could hear it very well, but it was all echoey. And so it was really difficult to discern like any of the voiceover. The music was all this like jumbled mash of everything bouncing off of like 17 different buildings and back and forth. Like it was crazy. And then they turned around and paraded in front of the DVC building for Grand Floridian, but the show wasn't going. They were just repositioning to sit in front of and do a parked show in front of the Polynesian. And so then we're, the DVC building for Grand Floridian is near the Polynesian. And so I could see the floats fairly well from the room as it did the Polynesian show. Again, a slightly off angle and from behind, but I couldn't hear it really well because all of the speakers were aimed, the other direction from where I was. So if your heart is on watching that parade on the water in the evening and you're staying in the original DVC building at Grand Floridian, I would highly suggest that you walk over to the beach at the main building in Grand Floridian, or perhaps head over to the Polynesian to enjoy the electrical float parade from there. Doesn't really work so well from the DVC building, but it was still cool.
We've seen it a couple of times from odd angles.
Yes.
I think the one time we actually sat down and were able to see the electric water parade was when we were standing on a beach somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I know we've seen it before, and it like does the show as the boats are still going. This is the first time I've ever seen like it. They literally just like stopped. So it was interesting. It was interesting.
The next day was actually just a resort day. We did not have any park tickets. We were just going to take it easy. We had a breakfast set up for the Grand Floridian Cafe, and it was a very good breakfast. Nathan and I had French toast, and Sterling had Mickey pancakes.
Yes.
Oh, and Nathan, you also had a mimosa.
I did. It was fantastic.
And then there were biscuits.
Oh, they were good.
That looked really good.
Yeah, they were very dense, very buttery.
Yep.
Super amazing.
And I can't remember. Okay, this is not the restaurant that we've had breakfast at before. This is the Grand Californian Cafe. We've also had breakfast at 1900 Park Fair.
Yes.
Which they have not brought back yet.
No.
That was a character breakfast.
I have a funny feeling that'll be back soon.
Probably.
But I don't think it's been announced yet.
No. In the cafe here, they also had another chocolate sculpture of, it looks like a huge Fabergé egg carved into a carousel.
Yeah.
But it's very large. It's like 3 feet tall or something like that. Yeah. Breakfast was yummy. We spent some time just walking around the resort itself. The couches in the lobby are some of the deepest couches I've ever been in.
Yeah,
basically,
if you sit all the way back, like your feet are like dangling up in the air because
it's like the whole thing is like a chaise.
Yeah, dude, they're huge.
Yeah,
they're huge. But it's an absolutely stunning lobby there at the Grand Floridian, and lots of stone inlays in the floor of various characters and hidden Mickeys and all sorts of fun stuff. There's a Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique upstairs that was not open yet while we were there. It is now, if I remember correctly.
I think so, yeah.
There was a Basin and White store, which is kind of fragrances and soaps and things like that. I did not go in there. And there's a merch shop up there as well on the second floor. And that's also on the second floor is also where Citrico's and Victoria and Albert's are.
Yep. And when we were walking around, we noticed that there was a cast member, a PhotoPass cast member, and they happened to have Cinderella's glass slipper there. And I was like, oh, can I take a couple pictures of the glass slipper? And she said, of course, of course. Would you like a picture with the glass slipper? And Sterling was ecstatic to be able to get his picture with the glass slipper. Like, he was so excited. It was really cute. So we got some nice pictures there on a nice forest floral background.
Yeah.
With the glass slipper.
It is the PhotoPass location that is tied in with Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. So even though the BBB was still closed, they still had that PhotoPass manned or staffed, excuse me, at various times.
Nice.
So yeah, it was kind of cool.
We did that and then went over towards the Contemporary because we had lunch reservations at Steakhouse 71.
We took the monorail over to Steakhouse 71.
And you can hear all about that in our previous episode.
Indeed. That
episode
was
38.
Yes, episode 38 a couple weeks ago on our lunch at Steakhouse 71.
Yeah.
That was really, really cool.
Yeah, it was good. That prime rib sandwich is still calling my name. So good.
Wait, was that 38 or 37? I don't know.
38. It was last week's episode. We just recorded it eons ago.
Oh, fun times.
Yep. And we looked around the resort a little bit. It was really neat to see the update that they've done with the incredible IP.
Yep. It's incredible.
Incredible. We got to see the 5-legged goat.
That's right.
Yeah.
We did.
And after lunch, we went back over towards the Grand Floridian and took a tour of the 3-bedroom DVC villa. This thing is humongous.
Yes.
I mean, it has 3 bedrooms because it's a 3-bedroom villa.
Yeah, it's in the name.
Yeah. but it also has a media room in there as well.
Yeah.
And
And it's got the media room is like this huge sectional couch in it and gigantic TV and sound system. And I mean, it's basically set up to watch
could be a
movies.
bedroom.
And
Yeah.
it could be a bedroom. It does not have a closet.
Yeah, so it's not a bedroom. But
Right.
yeah. The master bath is very large.
Yes.
It has a soaker tub. It has the largest walk-in shower that I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it was huge.
I mean,
It's about the size of your walk-in closet at home.
it's bigger than that. This was kind of nice to see. I don't know that we'd ever be able to stay in a 3-bedroom. I don't know that we'd ever need to. This is a lot of room.
I think we could. I don't know that we would.
Yeah.
It
can sleep 12, I think, is the
at least. I mean, there's
a
the
limit,
dining
though.
table is set for 12.
Yeah, dining table set for 12. I don't know what the capacity is, but 2 of the bedrooms have 2 queen beds. Pretty sure there's a pull down or a couple of sofas in the living room that can be beds as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of space and really well appointed.
Yeah, it was very nice. What else did we do that day? Oh, that was
Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween
Not So
Party.
Scary. Yes. So that was
that night.
We talked
that was
about
episode 33.
That was episode 33. We talked about our time at the Not So Scary Halloween Party. Oh my gosh, I'm stumbling over that. There's a lot of letters in that, a lot of words.
MNSSHP.
Yes. So if you want, you could listen to that. That's episode 33. We talk about that outing.
Yep.
The next day, we did Animal Kingdom.
Yes. One of the things about being in Grand Floridian and many other locations is that for some of the parks, you've got to take a bus or, other form of transportation. So we went to go take a bus from Grand Floridian to Animal Kingdom, showed up at the bus stop at 7:30. The park was opening for park guests or for resort guests at 8. And the bus had just left, and the next bus wasn't going to be there until like 8 o'clock or something like that. And so we called an audible and got our very first minivan.
Yeah.
Which was pretty awesome. So this is a service through Lyft that if you are going between locations on property at Disney World, you can get a minivan, and it is a Chevy Suburban that they used to be minivans, but now they're Suburbans that have a wrap on them that look like Minnie Mouse with red and with white polka dots and all that good stuff. And we had a ride right to the front of the park over there at Animal Kingdom. Pretty
we got
handy.
there right at 8 o'clock.
Indeed. And as you do when you get to Animal Kingdom, the first thing in the morning, you go on the safari because that's when the animals are going to be the most active and out.
Yeah. And I was able to, I think either while we were in the minivan or while we were on the safari, I was able to snag a reservation for our one of our favorite character breakfasts at Tusker House. So I got a 9:55 reservation, which is the very last possible time that you can do breakfast.
Yep. And we had a great safari and saw lots of animals, and the lions were out.
Yeah.
Then we walked around over towards Asia. We wanted to go ride Everest.
Yep.
And we saw Kite Tails was
Kite
running.
Tails. Yeah, we hadn't seen that yet.
No. And we'll never see it again.
No, because they have or are discontinuing it.
Yes.
In
5 days.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the end of September 30th is the last day of Kite Tails.
Well, it wasn't up for very long. It was an interesting concept. The kites themselves are cute.
So they're character animals.
They're character animals.
Simba or Pumbaa or whoever, being that they're kites and they're towed behind jet skis.
Yep, with music.
Yeah, it's a thing. They pretty much gained popularity, not so much for how majestic and amazing the show was, but people just wanted to see the crashes of the characters into
Oh yeah.
the water or a
Well,
tree
that's how they
or
stopped them.
the
was
crowd.
They
Yeah.
literally
They just
crashed
face
it into the
plant, but-
stands. Yep. I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
Mhm.
But we saw Kite Tails, then we got on Everest, which is a favorite coaster.
Love Everest.
Yeah. I think all the coasters are my favorite, honestly. I mean, I love roller coasters so much.
Yep.
Yeah, so we got to do Everest, and then on the way over to Tusker House, we saw the drummer float.
Yes. Literally a float. It's a pontoon boat and it has drummers on it.
Mhm.
This is a cool thing about Animal Kingdom because it kind of has that river that runs through the park, and they'll put characters and not animals, but characters and little parade things. They're kind of like a cavalcade on water.
Yeah, and we got to see Chip and Dale in their dinosaur costumes
Yes.
as well, and Goofy was on there too.
It's very cool.
On a different boat than the drummer pontoon.
Yes.
but
Yeah.
And then we got breakfast at Tusker House. I got to have Pog juice for the only time during this vacation.
You had some drinks with Pog juice in them.
It's not the same.
Okay, fair enough.
Because I can down the Pog juice, and I can't do that if there's other various things in the Pog juice.
You can, but
I can't. No, they didn't have it on the cruise. I was devastated.
Sorry,
but I had my Pog juice at Tusker House. I was very happy.
Yep.
And we got our photos with Donald and Daisy and Mickey and Goofy.
Yeah. Always fun that
Mhm.
breakfast is. We did the trail around the Tree of Life on Discovery Island, which I don't think we've ever done before in our trips, at least not to this extent. It was really cool to see up close and personal the tree and all of the animals carved into the roots and things. It was quite fascinating. Just the artisanship that went into these creations is just stunning. Like they did such a great job.
Yeah, we've never gone around. I mean, maybe a little tiny bit of it, but we went around the entire tree.
Yeah.
And we did the Bugs Life show as well, which we've never done either. I don't know why we've never done this before. I don't know why we've never gone around the tree before.
I don't know.
Probably because it's been too hot.
Yeah.
But yes, just seeing the tree, seeing all the animals carved in, it is beautiful. There's so many things that I know we missed.
Yeah.
Because it's so detailed and so intricate, but it's a lot of fun just to walk around and see everything. And there's little animals here and there too, like real live animals.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of tortoises back there, racing like tortoises do. And let's see, what else do we see? We did like I said, we did the Bugs Life show.
Yep.
Which was weird.
Yeah, it's a thing. I'm not a huge fan of that movie. So
yeah, I mean the Flick animatronic needs a little bit of work. One of his eyes was quite wonky.
It needs a refurb.
Mhm.
Or a retheme or something. I don't know. And then again, kind of as became thematic of our trip, you plan for that afternoon rainstorm. And so you do a bunch of stuff, and then you kind of take a look at the weather and make a good guess, and you go like, yeah, it's time to get going.
Yeah, we were planning on only staying at Animal Kingdom for the morning anyway.
Right.
Because we needed to do laundry and we needed to record a podcast.
Indeed. On our way out, we didn't literally run into, but we saw Divine, who is a character that is made up for Animal Kingdom. And it is a performer who is on stilts, basically kind of like almost like a stick figure.
She's a living vine.
A living vine, like head to toe covered in vines. Like
an ivy.
It is amazing. When you're there in person, you can see her. It's easy to pick her out versus the background. Going through the pictures, however,
can't see her. No,
it's really difficult to pick out where Divine starts and where the tree behind her ends.
Yeah.
Like, it's just stunning.
This the
Really
first
cool.
time we've seen Divine. I've wanted to see Divine before, but we've never been able to see her. She's only out for a short amount of time, a
Right.
couple of times a day.
And she's like 12 or 15 feet tall.
Yeah.
Like it's impressive. It's really cool.
Yep.
It's really cool.
So we saw Divine, went back to the hotel,
Yeah.
did a podcast,
Mm-hmm.
did laundry,
Mm-hmm.
and that evening we had tickets to go see Cirque du Soleil's Drawn to Life.
Oh yeah.
And
we also had this we had another thing to do that evening.
pick up the child.
Yeah, we had this other kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that flew out from Seattle. So Kaitlyn joined us that day,
Yep.
that evening.
And she had finished her camp. She had done the COVID test and everything to make sure that she was okay, so she
multiple
could fly out.
COVID tests.
Yeah, multiple tests.
Yes.
Some good friends of ours picked her up at the airport.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Rachel and Meredith.
Yay.
And
then we all went to Drawn to Life.
Yeah, we all went to Drawn to Life. When Nathan, Sterling, and I got to Disney Springs, we were hungry.
Yes.
So we were like, I don't know, let's go find somewhere to eat. We just walked over to Raglan Road.
So this
snagged
is
a table right away.
This is 6 p.m.
on
a Saturday evening.
Yeah.
Like, it's busy, really busy in the summer at Disney Springs. We didn't have reservations. We're like, we'll see what happens. Literally walked right in and got a table at Raglan Road.
It's because we were doing outdoor seating.
But just like still, like,
Yeah, they did not have anything inside. They said, if you want to sit on the patio, you can sit down right now.
and we were like, okay, let's sit in the patio. It was fantastic.
Keeping our fingers crossed that no more rain would come.
Yeah, and it didn't. It all held off.
Yeah. This meal was phenomenal.
Oh my gosh.
I
Yeah.
had the chicken and Nathan had the braised beef.
Oh,
It was very good.
Yeah.
My mouth is
bravo.
watering right now looking at the
Uh-huh.
pictures, and I just had lunch recently. So
Yeah. Yeah. And Sterling had a burger and fries. Like, it was so good.
it was very good.
Oh, the braised beef is this, I don't know, it's like this 2.5, 3-inch cube of beef that just
It just melted.
falls apart in your mouth. And like, there was no need for a knife. And it's on a bed of mashed potatoes and this amazing sauce. And it had roasted carrots with it and some broccoli with it. Holy cow. I could
It was good.
have another one of those.
And then after dinner, we went and saw the Cirque du Soleil show, Drawn to Life.
Yes.
I love Cirque du Soleil. We've seen a couple of different Cirque shows, and I'm always in awe of just the stuff that they do. And the
Yeah.
stories that they come up with are
Yeah.
very good,
Yes.
engaging. This one I wouldn't mind seeing again because I know there's so much that I missed.
Yeah.
Just the talent of the performers and the feats of acrobatics that they
Yeah.
do.
We were
It's so
also
good.
sitting, we had really great seats.
You're
They were
welcome.
pretty, I don't know, middle of the room,
Yeah.
if you will, like front row of the second section back.
Yep. Mhm.
But it felt like almost too close to get a great view of what was going on all up.
Maybe back a little farther.
I would, yeah. If
so-
we go again, I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind being back a little further. I also think, I don't know how to say this. Most of the Cirque shows build and build and build and build and build and have this emotional and energetic climax at the end. This one didn't really end with the punch that I'm used to out of a Cirque du Soleil show. It was amazing.
It had an emotional ending. It may not have been the punch that you're looking for, but it definitely had an emotional ending.
Yes. Yeah.
And it was a good wrap up to the story. It was also, bear in mind that this is a Disney show.
Yeah.
And that they've had to kind of tailor it towards the Disney audience, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. I enjoyed it.
I would like to see it again.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do that next December. Who knows?
Maybe.
Yeah. So we saw that. Then went back to the hotel for a nightcap, went to the Enchanted Rose for a chocolate martini.
Yes. And Rachel and Mare joined us.
Mhm.
And it was fantastic.
Yeah.
It's such a nice little bar.
Yeah, it was very good.
There in the Grand Floridian. And then we got up bright and early
Mhm.
on our last day in the parks, the day before we were going to get on our cruise.
Yes, this was our Epcot day, and we wanted to get virtual queue for Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind.
Yep. And so Alicia and Kaitlyn and myself all woke up about 6:50 in the morning.
Yep.
And we're on the app at 7:00.
Yep.
And it was actually Kaitlyn, if I remember correctly,
Yeah.
snagged the virtual queue. We were boarding group 15.
Yes.
Nice
it
and
was
early first thing in the morning.
Very exciting.
Yeah. And then we had our proctored COVID test to get
Mhm.
on the cruise the next day. And then our plans changed.
Yes. We had tested the day before and everybody was negative. We
Yes.
tested this morning and not everybody was negative.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
our plans changed.
A little bit.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah.
So we did not go to Epcot that day.
Nope.
I think technically we could have,
It didn't,
just
no.
not Kaitlyn. That didn't feel right.
No, that didn't feel right. We stayed. I mean, we quarantined.
Yeah, exactly.
We pivoted. We found a beach house that we could stay at.
Yep.
Through the contagion period, basically.
Yes.
We missed our Wish cruise.
Yep.
That was rescheduled.
Yep. We talked a lot about this in episode 34.
Mhm.
From Mousecapades to Adventures.
Yes.
So we won't go into all of the details, but it was a bit of a
It was a bummer.
kerfuffle. It was a
Yeah.
bummer. It was, there were a lot of emotions.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kaitlyn felt absolutely horrible. She felt fine.
Yeah.
But just
Nothing happened.
emotionally and just
Yeah.
she
I
felt
walked
so horrible.
I walked over to the Pineapple Lanai and got Dole Whips and brought them back so we
Yeah.
could have Dole Whips. I had recently recovered, so I had my 90-day letter and everything
Yeah.
as for recently recovering from COVID. And yeah, we were all very careful. Kaitlyn kind of quarantined from us. None of us got sick.
No.
She had it, but didn't have any symptoms or anything
No.
the entirety of the time. So
No. And she was testing negative within just several days later. She was testing negative, which means that she was not contagious.
Yep.
Before we were supposed to get on the fantasy.
the fantasy. Yep.
For that 1 week cruise. And so we were able to do that.
Yep.
So, we talked a little bit about, or a lot of it about that intervening week again, back on episode 34. So we will leave this here
Mhm.
and then we will pick up, I do believe, next time with our cruise. Oh, no, I won't.
Well, it
Never
depends.
mind.
I don't know. We have
We'll see
a
what we
couple
do.
different options. Either next week we're going to talk about our trip on the fantasy,
Yeah.
or next week we're going to talk about adult dining on the fantasy. We'll figure it out.
We'll
It
be
may
talking
change.
about stuff from the cruise.
Yes, we're talking about stuff from our cruise
Yes.
on the next podcast.
Indeed. You see how we plan these things, people? We have a plan, and then,
Things
stuff
change.
goes sideways.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
Well, that was our 4 days at Disney World.
Several days.
Several days at Disney World this past August. We had a good time. There was
had a
some
great time.
unexpectedness that happened, but we
Yep.
still had a good time, and
Yep.
it was very hot.
It was, yes. Yeah,
I'm-
it was hot.
I'm looking forward to our March vacation to see how much of a difference, if any, there is.
Yes. Well, and I don't know if we really talked a ton about that in episode 34. We had to rebook that Wish cruise,
Yes,
and we had to rebook it that day.
it had to be done that day. Yeah.
And once we moved it, we could move it a second time, but it would be $300 per person to move it.
Yeah.
So,
And this is part of the rules that they have for rebooking due to COVID diagnoses.
right. So that was
yeah.
that was stressful, and it turned into, gosh, probably like a 45-minute or an hour phone call with the person on the phone, like looking at different options and different itineraries and different rooms. And
I was on the phone for an hour and 45 minutes.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I
so
think you had 45 minutes on hold waiting to talk to somebody, and then you were on
probably, yeah.
talking with them for an hour.
Yeah. So we tried to move our Wish cruise to a time when the kids could go on it with us, which would have needed to be around spring break time.
Right.
And that means more expensive.
Yeah.
So we already paid a pretty penny for the Wish cruise because the Wish is
Indeed.
a brand new ship and it's expensive, and we were sailing in
Concierge.
concierge. In order to get the kids on the next round with us, it would have been an additional $2,500
Yeah.
to what we already paid. So I worked with the person and tried to find, okay, well, let's just do me and Nathan. Or no. Before that, I was like, okay, well, let's not do the Wish. Let's do a different boat. And it was still like the same price.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so I guess we can't go with the kids. All right. How much is it with just the two of us? And it still costs more.
Yeah. It was crazy.
It was more doable. It was like a $400 difference that we had to add on.
$500. Yeah.
Which sucks that we had to do that, but yeah, just it's having to do with supply and demand and when you're sailing and what ship you're sailing.
Yep.
So we ended up moving it to
March.
Late
March of 23. Which, I mean, basically it's turning into an anniversary trip for Alicia and myself.
Yeah, that'll be our 23rd anniversary trip.
Yep. So we'll still have fun.
Yeah. And we do have another cruise scheduled for not this December, but next December 2023.
Yep.
We'll be on the Fantasy again, and Nathan's folks will be coming with us as well.
Yeah.
And that is just a regular, we're not doing concierge on that one. It's a regular one.
Right.
We tried to do concierge, but it is literally double the cost of what it was when we last did concierge.
Yes.
Like,
we've talked about that for sure.
We did talk about that.
Yeah.
So
anyhow.
Yep.
So that is where we are and what has happened. That is our time in Disney World. We are not affiliated with Disney and we're not travel agents. So we can offer our opinions and suggestions, but we really recommend working with a travel agent to plan your perfect vacation.
If you have questions or suggestions, send us an email to podcast@adventuresandmousecapades.com. Follow us on our social at Our Mousecapades and take a moment and rate and review in your podcast app to help people find us. Thanks so much for listening.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for flying Star Tours. Bye-bye.
That was a long one.
That's what she said.